On this Memorial Day weekend, baseball night in America brings us to the heartland. Happy to have you with us from St. Louis. We've got the middle game of 3 featuring a Cardinals team that's now taking on water after a red-hot start. Meanwhile, the Atlanta Braves, who won last night, have won 8 of their last 10. And a win this evening would mean their 5th consecutive series win. Welcome inside Busch Stadium. Aaron Goldsmith alongside Eric Karros. And Eric, for the Braves last season, 90 wins. They won the division in large part because of their youth. And it's hard to imagine the baby Braves have become even younger this year.
Well, they really have. And we're going to have an opportunity to watch 4 22 or younger tonight. Mike Soroka takes the hill. This guy in his last start gave up 1 run in 8 innings pitched, and his ERA went up. Then you've got other guys out there as well. Soroka, you can see, just dynamite with that sinker. Now Acuna coming off a 917 OPS last year, all these 24 home runs last year, and now Austin Riley in just 10 games has hit 5 dingers for this young ball club.
He's been remarkable. They all have been. Tell us about the Cardinals. Through 30 games, they won their first 20. They had the best record in the majors. Since then, they've been one of the worst teams in baseball.
Well, they really have struggled, and it's been a number of things. But for me, for them to get going, Paul Goldsmith, he needs to get hot. This is a guy that is a perennial all-star, MVP every single year. Only 2 extra base hits in this month of May. 1 home run, 5 RBIs. He's got to start slugging so the Cardinals can start chugging.
We've got a good one on hand tonight. Cardinals and the Braves on a warm, not too steamy of a night here from St. Louis, Missouri. We've got first pitch from Busch Stadium coming right up.
Cardinals. We've got game 2 of 3. The Cardinals and the Atlanta Braves. The batting lineup for manager Brian Snitker, 3rd in the league in OPS, 1st in the National League, batting .260. Ronald Acuna Jr. back at the top of the order. They're 11-3 since his return to the top spot. Dansby Swanson coming off his 2nd career multi-homer game last night. Austin Riley, all he has done is hit home runs. He has 5 in his young big league career, just 22 years old. Tyler Flowers does the catching. Ozzie Albies may be looking forward for the month of June to come around, batting beneath .230 so far this May. And the repertoire, what we're looking at tonight for Dakota Hudson, the young right-hander.
Well, he hopes there's a lot of ground balls, especially from the right-handed hitter. At about a 70% rate is what he induces. He's going to have success against the left-handed hitters. Left-handed hitters have really teed off against him. This Braves offense, they feature a few of them.
Lefty's batting .349, 8 home runs. And here is Acuna, who last night played in his 162nd career game. They now have a full 162 game sample size on him. He has been fantastic, of course, last year's National League Rookie of the Year.
Well, remember, this offseason, Braves went and signed him to a 10-year deal. Very excited about his future. And, you know, for $100 million, he might be a great deal.
It was the most money ever given to a player with as little service time as Acuna had generated in his young major league career. Goldschmidt at first base, and foul ground has it. And a good start for Dakota Hudson. The rest of the defense behind Hudson. Yadier Molina doing the catching, as, let's face it, he always does. Left to right, it is Ozuna, Fowler, and Jose Martinez, who had a night off last night in game 1. Carpenter at third, DeYoung at short, Wong, Gold Glove quality at second base. Up the middle, Goldschmidt 3 Gold Gloves, and Molina with 9. All the talk about Acuna going to the top of the order, but Dansby Swanson has moved from the bottom half of the lineup to the number 2 spot. 2 home runs last night. And he's more than on pace of having his best offensive season in the majors.
Yeah, it really is. 10 home runs already this season. You see the 35 RBIs.
Ground ball up the middle. DeYoung cuts it off. 2 down.
A real nice play by DeYoung, having a great offensive season. It sometimes gets overlooked defensively. We talked about it tonight. Hudson, a lot of ground balls if he's on his game.
Now facing Freddie Freeman. Adding 320, OPS pushing 1,000. Diving catch, Kolten Wong is able to hold on. What a play right out of the gates. Six pitches for Dakota Hudson. That's all it takes to get 3 outs with a little bit of help. Slab, a 1.92 career earned run average, the lowest in his first 12 starts in baseball since James Paxton back in 2014. 11 career starts allowing 1 earned run or fewer, the most in 12 starts at the beginning of his career since 1913. And how about this? An ERA a tick above 1 in 7 starts this year. He has been, in large part, untouchable. He's facing the Cardinals for the second time.
Pretty good numbers right there. You see the ERA just over 1. In every one of his starts this year, 1 earned run or less.
I'm back in May 15th in Atlanta against the Cardinals. 7 scoreless in a Braves win. He gets ahead of Dexter Fowler, 1-2.
Well, one of the things with Soroka, he's going to throw the sinker. He's got the slider and changeup. But he's got control with all of those pitches. Can hit any quadrant. Will throw any pitch at any count.
Strike 3 call. Plenty of backwards Ks last night for the Cardinals. 8, in fact.
Well, and see, we talk about Soroka, and it's really his ability to locate. You see that 93, but it's got the late movement. It's in a corner spot. You're not going to see him leave the ball over the middle of the plate very often. And again, with the late movement, very difficult for hitters.
There's Paul Goldschmidt. For his pitch, away from the shift. 1-out single for the first baseman. Rest of the lineup tonight for Mike Shildt and the Cardinals. Paul DeJong due up next. The shortstop, 17 doubles, among the most in the majors. Marcell Ozuna, 14 home runs. That leads the Cardinals. Matt Carpenter has homered in back-to-back games. He, of course, has been the leadoff man. This is the second night where he is batting 5th. Yadier Molina, as always, does the catching. Kolten Wong at second base, batting .239. He will bat in the number 8 spot. 1 out and 1 on for Paul DeJong. Off to a really nice start offensively this year. He looks at first pitch strike.
Yeah, you mentioned better offensively, much better recognition or discipline of the strike zone. Really controlling home plate. The walk to strikeout record much improved.
Highest OPS this season among Major League shortstops. Jorge Polanco with the Twins playing like an all-star. Of course, Javi Baez finished second in the MVP voting last season. And then you have Paul DeJong ahead of Carlos Correa and the red-hot Astros. Like that jammed him a little bit. Pops it up. Dansby Swanson at shortstop. 2 away. Now the rest of that defense behind Soroka tonight. The young man, Austin Riley, he is a third baseman by trade, but playing in left field these days. Acuna is in center. Nick Markakis, a Gold Glove winner last year and 3 times over. Josh Donaldson, the one-time MVP on the hot corner. Swanson and Albies up the middle. Freddie Freeman, a Gold Glove last season. Tyler Flowers doing the catching. Brian McCann getting the night off.
There's Austin right there out and left.
Two outs for Ozuna. First pitch in play. The short way. Up to a quick start tonight in St. Louis. 9 pitches in the first for Soroka. We go to the second. Third baseman Josh Donaldson leads off the second for the Braves. Scoreless. Dakota Hudson just 6 pitches in the first. Of course, Hudson, one of the great ground ball pitchers in baseball right now. 60% ground ball rate. That's best among major league starters. Very low strikeout rate as a result. .24 years old, former first-round draft pick. Hudson in his second big league season, his first as a starter.
You talk about that ground ball rate. It even increases when you're talking about right-handed hitters, up over 70%. And he's not a strikeout guy. He's a contact guy, which when he's throwing strikes and pounding the zone, it's great. It keeps your fielders involved. Usually you'll play better defense because of that.
There's a ground ball. It gets past Long. And if you've seen that saying something, Donaldson is aboard first hit tonight for the Braves. Here is Nick Markakis, an all-star last year.
Yeah, you see the .815 OPS. It's really the on-base percentage and just the difference as far as what he provides you in this lineup. He's not the power guy, but he's going to give a professional at-bat. He's going to battle you. He's going to put the ball in play.
Your bats here with Donaldson at first. Nobody out. Soft chop. Goldschmidt. Put the tag on him. One down. Donaldson into second. That brings up Austin Riley, 22 years old. Made his major league debut not long ago. It was against this very team. Picking up his first big league home run in his second career major league at bat at the Cardinals' expense. Look at these numbers with AAA Gwinnett before the call-up. 13 home runs in his final 18 games. 5 home runs in his first 10 big league games. Most home runs in the first 10 career games of any player in Braves history. Sustainable pace, right, EK? Hard hit. Fair ball past third base. Donaldson scores easily. He's on his way home. Okay, so not everything has to be a home run. Makes it 1-0 Atlanta.
Well, you see Riley jumping on the first pitch right there. You know, if you're Hudson, you've given up 2 ground balls. Now this, right down the line. Gets it by Carpenter, who has no play at all. This is kind of the way that things have been going for St. Louis. You know, okay, look at 2 ground balls. Both of them find holes. You know, one's an extra base hit. It just feels like this month of May, nothing can go right for them. Braves, on the other hand, Austin Riley, that ball is looking huge, and things are happening slow at the plate.
There's catcher Tyler Flowers. And a good stop by Molina.
And I feel like this is an important hitter right here for Hudson to retire. You do that, you can pitch around the left-handed hitter Albies and then go after Soroka. You want to keep that runner out at second base. Don't let him score. It's a great pitch right there. If your Flowers up at the plate, can't offer it that, especially when you're ahead in the count. That's a good 3 inches off the plate. If I'm hitting, I'm not happy.
Backhand by DeYoung. 2 down. Keeps Riley at second. Now facing Ozzie Albies.
Now, with an all-star catcher behind the plate, future Hall of Famer, he's got to navigate Hudson through this at-bat against Albies. You mentioned earlier, Hudson has trouble with left-handed hitters. You've got the pitcher on deck, first base open. Got to be smart here.
First pitch to Albies. Skips in, ball one. We asked manager Mike Shildt of the Cardinals what weapon Dakota Hudson needs to develop, which pitch, in order to have better success against lefties, and he had an answer I wasn't expecting. His answer was command. It was that simple.
Well, I think there's, you can extend that thought. Command also means putting it where you want to put it. And maybe the sequencing there, like maybe I'll start high, then go low, then go in, then go out. Because there is sequencing is the most important thing as long as you can execute. The way you set up hitters, maybe you start with a curveball and see, here you go, they're intentionally walking him. They had no desire to go after him.
Brings up the pitcher, Mike Soroka. Two on, two out. One after the first pitch. Carpenter takes his time getting there, but he's got plenty of time. And Hudson able to strand a pair. But a run does score. Austin Riley, first pitch swinging inside the bag at third. And the young man, former first-round draft pick, has made it 1-0 Atlanta. Tonight's telecast is by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And it's Bark in the Park night here from Busch Stadium. Plenty of on-field festivities before the game began. And plenty of fans, as you can imagine, bringing their dog to the ballpark on a warm night. And they are giving away Yachty, as in Yachty or Molina, dog bowls. And EK, I can think of no greater way to honor one of the greatest Cardinals in franchise history than putting his name on a free dog bowl.
But how many guys can say that they had a dog bowl giveaway in their career? I'm guessing one.
To your point, not many. The list is short, I assume. There's Matt Carpenter to lead things off. He's homered in back-to-back games. Now, this is the talk of the town. Carpenter getting moved out of the leadoff spot. That's for Fowler and his much higher on-base percentage, one of the best in baseball so far this year at the top. And now Carpenter, who is struggling this year. You can see the numbers. Batting just .210, batting fifth. Slugs this into right field in front of Markakis. Leadoff single. And you can see last year, of course, Fowler kind of a lost season here in St. Louis, but has experience at the top of the order. Carpenter, meanwhile, has had good productivity over the course of his career, batting leadoff for the Cardinals. And last year, the on-base percentage, quite what it has been for the career, but of course last year, for a pretty long stretch of time, Carpenter was playing like an MVP.
Right, but the thing about it, it's not like the Cardinals have had somebody that they could put in that spot. And again, Fowler has been swinging the bat well as of late, so with his history at that spot in the lineup, Mike Shildt says, yeah, okay, let's go ahead and do it. Remember, when Fowler was with the Cubs, leading off 16 when they won the World Series, he arguably was one of the most important guys on that team. Obviously hasn't been the same player since, but has been swinging it better as of late.
Jose Martinez takes inside, 2-0. Martinez now 30 years old, out of Venezuela. Last night had off. Keep Carpenter close. Hard hit. Dansby Swanson over to Albies to first. Double play, 2 outs.
Well, this ball is an absolute rocket, but it's right at Swanson. Easily able to flip the ball to Albies. They turn the double play. And you look at that in contrast to the previous inning where the Braves scored a run. You get the ground ball just by Wong. Granted, Riley hit his ball hard, but a ground ball down the line. Really just a matter of placement.
109 miles an hour off the bat.
Wow. And you get nothing for it. A double play. What a fair game.
There's Yadier Molina. Dansby Swanson figures to be busy tonight. Soroka faces the minimum. Another quick inning. We go to the third. 1-0 Atlanta. Inside the Braves dugout, we say Snitker, their manager. Snit, we were excited to see Mike Soroka. We've seen him for 2 innings. What have you made for him so far tonight?
Just doing what he does. He tried to, he keeps the ball on the ground. Throw strikes. That's the biggest thing. He's not afraid of contact. He'll get and mix it up with the hitter, and I'm seeing a good changeup, pretty good slider, and the heavy use of ground balls.
Early managing move of the year. Acuna to the top of the lineup. What went behind that decision?
Well, it's kind of a team-wide thing. We were just in Arizona. We were kind of stagnant. We were doing the same thing, expecting different results, and we weren't getting it. And I just finally, he did a really kind of jump-started us last year when we put him up there. So I just figured let's just try it again.
Snit, we appreciate the time. If you guys hold on for the win, enjoy some of that Emo's Pizza post-game.
Yeah, we will. We already had some pregame.
There's the skipper, Brian Snitker, enjoying the Provel cheese here in St. Louis. Ball and 2 strikes to
Acuna. Two balls and 2 strikes. Well, the big storyline for the Braves entering this year was that Acuna would be batting cleanup, and he was that from opening day until just recently. Since May 10th, you can see he's been moved back to the top of the order. The Braves are 11-3 since then. Their numbers across the board are up. Granted, it's still a bit of a small sample size, but even Snit was telling us earlier today that this is a different player, Acuna, when he is batting at the top of the order.
He talks about him having more energy, and as a hitter, as a player, you have to, because you're already up in the box. Right when the game starts, you have to be ready to go.
Easy play for DeYoung, 1 away.
But it was not only moving him to the top of the lineup, it was Swanson to that second spot. So right in that first inning, you're hitting, and so far it's worked out well for this offense.
Well, here is Dansby Swanson. He's hit half of his 10 home runs batting in the number 2 spot of the order. Acuna just now making his way off the field. First pitch missing, ball 1. And to left field. Swanson's first hit tonight. 1-out single for the Braves shortstop. Seems like everything EK on both sides being hit right on the button.
Yeah, swinging the bats well, and you see this pitch just stays up in the zone, runs back over the inner part of the plate. Swanson does a nice job of letting it travel and absolutely smokes that ball by Carpenter at third.
One out, 1 on for Freddie Freeman. His last 15 games batting .393. 6 home runs in that stretch.
Yeah, he really deserved a hit in his last at bat. Hit an absolute missile to short right field, but Wong, playing with that shift, was able to make a diving play.
Freeman takes outside, ball 1. It seems like Freeman's so underappreciated over his last 4 years. He's averaging a 300, 400, 500 slash line. An all-star last year. If you look at extra base leaders, active players 29 and younger, you see Stanton at the top, then Trout, then Freddie Freeman. Pretty big gap between he and Rizzo, next man in line.
Well, and you think of him as being the old vet. He's 29 years old. As young as this ball club is, really is the elder statesman of the team. Brian McCann has since returned, but Freddie has been there.
Well, until you have to look at the timetable, the timeline for Freddie Freeman in his career. He signs that historic contract, the largest given out in Braves history, and then less than a year later, the Braves tear it down. They start the rebuild process, so he gets overlooked because the Braves are not contending. Then they start to contend, and all the attention goes to the younger players. Obviously, Acuna last year, Ozzie Albies as well.
But I almost feel that that can be a benefit too, because you're not playing with the stress, the pressure, all the eyes on you, the focal point. He's been able to respond.
3 doubles shy from 300.
It's going to be a tough night if Hudson doesn't get that pitch, especially against lefties. Molina does a nice job of framing that.
One out walk, 2 aboard. Major League Baseball is always live with MLB At Bat. Follow your favorite team's action with game tracking and video highlights, along with up-to-the-moment stats, standings, news, and much more. You can get the #1 app for live baseball. Download MLB At Bat today. 2 on, 1 down for Josh Donaldson.
Hudson missed his spot, but pitch ended up in a great quadrant, that upper inside spot. You know, one of the things that the Cardinals starters have had trouble with this month, walks. Only the Royals and White Sox have issued more. Mike Schultz telling us, he said, look, we can't give the free passes. We've got to make them put the ball in play.
Well, the Braves very familiar with that problem as well, dating back to last season even. DeYoung over to Wong. Donaldson spikes his bat, feet outside the box in frustration, and an ending double play onto the bottom of the 3rd. Colton Wong leads off the home half of the 3rd. 8-9-1 due up for St. Louis. Only run of this game so far coming on an RBI double by Austin Riley in the 2nd. Taking its time out to Ozzie Albies. Quickly 1 away. Well, Tiger Woods returns to Pebble Beach, the site of his most dominant major win, while Brooks Koepka is looking to make history as he attempts to capture his 3rd straight championship. The U.S. Open begins June 13th on Fox, FS1, and the Fox Sports app. Koepka, of course, winning 4 of the last 8 majors, including last August right here in St. Louis, PGA Championship.
You've been following that, right?
I'm not the only one. 1 out for the pitcher Dakota Hudson. Guessing it was a little warm last August when he won here.
It's a safe assumption.
Quickly 0-2.
Second strikeout.
See Soroka just being efficient right there, not messing around. Has a pitcher down 0-2. That's not even fair, that pitch.
Most wins through May for a pitcher 21 or younger. Well, Soroka in pretty good company. One shy of Hall of Famer John Smoltz. Steve Avery also.
Well, and you want to talk about efficiency. Soroka, first time through the lineup, did not throw more than 4 pitches to any hitter. Forcing guys to swing, pounding the zone. I mean, you look at these pitches, and nothing is really over the heart of the plate. It's low and away. It's up and in. Up and away.
He's barely breaking a sweat. This will be an 8-pitch inning for Soroka. He faces the minimum for the second straight frame. Out of the fourth, we'll be seeing Austin Riley back second for Atlanta. Sponsored by USAA Insurance, banking and investments tailored for the military community. And by DirecTV. Don't just kind of TV, DirecTV. Atlanta leading early in this one, 1-0, as we take you inside the Cardinals dugout. We say hello to one of the great human beings in the game, a great pitcher as well, Adam Wainwright. Adam, it's good to visit with you. Thanks for the time tonight.
Thank you for having me on, guys.
Hey, we've been trying to figure out a little bit about this Redbird season so far. You've had a front row ticket to it. What have you made of the first 50 games for the Cardinals this season?
We've been trying to figure it out too. It is a weird game, this game of baseball. I can tell you that. Everybody knows that. Eric, you know that. I mean, this is a long season, 162 games. The first month of the season, we were number 1 on everybody's power list or whatever they call them, and 20-10, I think we played the first month, and the second month has been a real grind. And it's just you go month to month like that. Unfortunately, sometimes in baseball, you know, the things we did right in the first month, all the little things, you know, some of those we haven't done right in the second month, and you know, there's no excuses coming out of this team. We know we haven't performed to the ability we can this month, but we look forward to getting back on track. I can promise you that.
So, Wayno, why do you guys win the National League Central?
Well, I mean, you know, the winning itself is a product of doing things right? Making pitches, executing pitches, getting timely hits, getting people on base, taking tough at bats, working the pitchers on the other team. But it's also a mindset, and what we're working on right now is making sure our mindset is good and getting us back into the frame of mind where we can go out there and expect to win, show up to know that we're going to win, show up to the park knowing we're going to win with that confidence. Baseball is a game of confidence, and if you don't have it, then you're not going to win the game because the other side will feed off of that. And, you know, it's funny when a couple of these guys get going, you watch what happens when Matt Carpenter gets going and when Paul Goldschmidt gets going like they can go. We know that they're doing fine, right? But we know what kind of superstar players they are.
Into right field for a base hit off the bat of Markakis.
And when superstar players get going, they have a way of carrying the whole team on their back. And, you know, you can point to our entire team, and everybody's had flashes of greatness, but nobody has had sustained great. Maybe Paulie D at our shortstops. He's played just awesome ball all year. But as a whole, you know, we've just been real hot or cold, and we don't have a hot or cold team. We should have a more consistent team. That's what we're working on.
Adam, a lot of people were curious, for good reason, as to whether or not last year would be your last in the majors. And you made the decision to come back, a one-year deal with the Cardinals. We saw you pitch at the tail end of last year. It was an injury-plagued season, unfortunately, for you. What led into your decision with you and your family to decide to come back for another year?
Well, yeah, I was wondering the same thing, honestly. Last year, as I had to shut it down, and I think it was late April, even maybe early May, and I tried to come back in late May, and it just wasn't working. And as my rehab process went along, I wasn't improving at all, and my arm was just terrible, and it just was just a real grind every day trying to get through rehab. And honestly, what turned it around for me, first of all, the staff did an amazing job every day working with me and staying positive throughout a situation where they thought it was probably the end of my career also. But what turned it around for me is we had a guy named Dominic Leone. He was rehabbing here with me every day, and he was trying to get back. And so I was just going out to play catch with him to get him back playing baseball again, because he was going to be able to pitch for us, and I wasn't. And so I would try to play catch, and I was developing new arm slots and trying to figure out how I could take the ball back and throw it to Dominic to get it all the way where he was going back without it hurting. And I took it back a little longer one time, and it didn't hurt, and so I just started doing that, and it went from a situation where I couldn't throw the ball 10 feet without my arm feeling like it was going to fall off to completely feeling great again.
Young off balance, Wong out at first base, double play.
So that's a long answer for your question. Why did I come back? But health is the main reason. You know, when I came back and I pitched healthy baseball at the end of the season, it was a telling sign for me that I had more to give and I wasn't ready to quit. And I didn't want to go out a part of a team where I felt like we have a chance to win the whole thing. I didn't want to go out and go home and say, man, I had more to give. For a great team, a team that I believe in, with a young group, a young nucleus that I think is going to do great things for a long time to come, and I want to be a part of that. These young guys, they inspired me actually to come back, because I want to be a part of this great thing that's going to happen this year.
Tyler Flowers in play. The young has it. Adam, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me on.
Good stuff, Adam. Thank you.
One of the great Cardinals pitchers, Adam Wainwright. Second double play ball, by the way, already for Dakota Hudson. Braves leading 1-0 going to the bottom of the fourth inning. Mike Soroka has thrown no more than 9 pitches in any single inning so far. So what do, Eric? Do you, as a hitter for the Cardinals, do you try to work some counts but then fall behind, then have to face a 2-strike pitch, or do you go up there swinging early and have what's happened so far, and that is he's just breezed through the first 3 innings?
I'm looking for a location. And I'm going to sit there, and if I get it on the first pitch, then I'm offering at it. If I don't, I'm waiting it out. You know, very similar to a guy like a Maddox, I'd even say. You know, where you were in this conundrum: do I swing early? Do I let him carve me up after he gets ahead? And it got to a point where you just look for a spot. Now, if he doesn't throw it to that spot, then you're in a lot of trouble. But you know, I'd sit in a quadrant and I'd sell out to that. And if you're disciplined enough to do that, I think you've got a chance. And it's interesting, Goldschmidt, his first at bat, goes up, swings at the first pitch, base hit. This time gets a breaking ball, first pitch, offers at it, fouls it off. Catcher's interference looks.
I'll put Goldschmidt at first.
It's another way you get on. You take that long backswing. You see Flowers just gets that glove way out there.
Looks like he needs a new one.
Yeah, as a pitcher, though, that's frustrating. Right? You're doing everything you can. It's really not indicative of a pitch you make. Flowers going out to receive the ball so he can better display it for the home plate umpire to possibly get a strike.
Well, they are headed inside the clubhouse, it looks like. Well, the MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to your favorite ballpark. Buy and manage game tickets, redeem special check-in offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. Order restored, glove in hand. And a runner at first base for Paul DeYoung. "17 doubles this year for DeYoung. Only Byron Buxton and Anthony Rendon have more in the majors.
Ben's in for a strike.
Again, we just continue to use the word efficient. Soroka starting him off with a breaking ball. Inner part of the plate. Not what DeYoung was looking for.
Well, and important to remember as praise gets heaped on Soroka for good reason this year. He's only 21 years old, and he's making only his 13th career big league start tonight.
Right, and this is a guy that's had some shoulder injuries.
Missed essentially the back half of last year because of that.
Yep.
Three pitches, all strikes. DeYoung retired.
So
now quickly, time for game break. Here's Amber Theo Harris. Thank you, Amber. Looks like that could have been worse. 1 out, 1 on here in the bottom of the fourth for Marcell Ozuna. Donaldson on a couple of bounces, knee high. Goldschmidt to second, 2 away.
You see Ozuna offering at the first pitch. Ground ball to third. And this is just after DeYoung gets breaking ball, changeup. First pitch to Ozuna, fastball. And again, the ability to go to any pitch at any count, to hit any part of the strike zone. I mean, it makes hitting virtually impossible against Soroka right now.
Now it's up to Matt Carpenter. Cardinals have a runner in scoring position for the first time. Goldschmidt the tie-in run at second. They have the shift on for Carpenter. He takes low for ball 1. Well, and this is an RBI opportunity. Carpenter last night collecting career RBI number 500. Came on a 442-foot home run.
I mean, even when he completely misses his spot, he's right on the corner of the plate. I mean, that's what's crazy about it. That's when you're going that well. Things like that happen. You see Matt Carpenter, he doesn't like the call because he completely misses his spot, but that pitch does go over the plate.
Make it 1-2.
Flowers has gone outside the last 2 pitches, and both times Soroka has kind of pulled it a little bit. First one ended up on the inner part of the plate. That one caught more of the middle part. You're almost thinking some sort of off speed outside now.
The 1-2. Into the gap, left center field. Goldschmidt makes a turn, coming home from second. And this game is tied. Carpenter a 2-out, 2-strike RBI.
Yeah, I didn't like that pitch. I was looking for something off speed away because there White wanted to go in. He left that thing out over the plate, but the previous 2 pitches, one was right on the corner, the other was middle part of the plate. See, Goldsmith gets a good jump, easily scores. I'd like to have seen something soft on the outer part of the plate there. Carpenter, a nice job. Cardinals getting a hit with a runner in scoring position.
Here is Jose Martinez, hit it hard the last time, 109 miles off the bat, but it was right to a double play. As Carpenter is tiptoeing off of first base.
Carpenter, he tried to turn himself invisible out there. He was going to run and hope nobody saw him.
Did that work out for you ever?
15 times one year.
Ball 1. Well, put Mike Soroka on notice. He has allowed 1 run Of course, he is entered tonight with a 1.01 earned run average.
Well, that run can't be earned.
It
right?
was unearned. Catcher's interference.
Right. Nice spot right there. You see Martinez just swings over it.
Check swing appeal. It does not go.
It's a good call if you're a hitter. Not so good if you're pitching.
There's the first 3-ball count tonight for Soroka. And this has been by far the most taxing inning for him.
That's a 3-1. He goes to a slider just out of the zone. I mean, that's a crazy pitch to be able to execute right there. That's the last thing you're thinking as a hitter. And now you're 3-2. And you have no idea what he's going to throw here.
Next pitch will be number 20 this inning. 2 outs. Go ahead, run at first. Swanson, tricky pick. He handles it. Now the shortstop throw to first. Plenty of time for round number 3. Matt Carpenter 2 for 2 early on tonight, and he has tied this game through 4 innings. Fifth, plenty of Blues fans in the ballpark tonight. They begin the Stanley Cup Finals on Monday night in Boston. They'll be coming here for Game 3 on Friday. Not too far from Busch Stadium. Albies leads it off. Almost got him.
See, Albies is awfully close to the plate. This pitch is running in. Almost got his shirt.
Up the middle. Playing that perfectly. 1 down. Tonight's Covering the Bases sponsored by State Farm. Going into this season, many had the Central and the East as the 2 best divisions in baseball, not just the National League. How about best interdivision records this season? It's been the Central against the National League East. 38 and 23, the best winning percentage. Strike 1 to Mike Soroka. Is that who you had as the top 2 teams?
So, you know, what's interesting is I thought the Central had the better teams, but there would be more teams involved in the East. I thought 4 teams in the East, I could make a case for each one of them winning the division. In the Central, I felt like it was 3 teams: Cubs, Cardinals, and Brewers. You know, Pittsburgh's doing it, and it's crazy because you look at run differential, and they are, you know, minus 30 something or 40. It's
almost 50 at this point.
50, yeah. I mean, you look at them, and Cincinnati's like a plus 20 something, right? And Cincinnati's in dead last.
3-1 to Soroka, who has never drawn a walk in his career.
Could be seeing baseball history right here.
Could tonight be the night?
Don't miss it.
Here comes the payoff. Chop off the plate, back to the mound. Easy play for Hudson. 2 outs. Not surprisingly, both on the ground. Well, tomorrow, NASCAR comes home to Charlotte with 600 miles of wheel-to-wheel action. Busch, Hamlin, Elliott, and the rest of NASCAR's top drivers face off as NASCAR races into the summer. The Coca-Cola 600 tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Back at the top of the order here is Acuna. Now, DeYoung will not get rusty tonight, to say the least. Another ball his way as Hudson faces the minimum for the third time in 5 frames. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by the all-new 2019 Ford Ranger, the only adventure gear built Ford tough. Now 6 blocks down Clark, Enterprise Center, home Saturday night to Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Blues and Bruins will be going at it. A little bit of a warm night for the hockey sweater. What do you say? It could be worse.
Well, the thing is, though, it doesn't matter what the weather's like. They're playing in the Stanley Cup, so it's suitable no matter what the temperature is.
That's why you're the best. Strike one.
Not sure how to take that.
That is big league analysis right there at its finest.
I feel like it was one of those backhanded
compliments.
Oh,
no. Not at all. Ball to strike to Yadier Molina. Molina, who this year made his 15th consecutive opening day start for the Cardinals. Donaldson has to go off his glove and into left field. That's a base hit for Molina.
I think Donaldson would tell you he'd catch us more often than not. Tries to field it to the side.
Harrison Bader, a fan. Got the start last night, getting a breather tonight. Here's Colton Wong. First pitch, high left center field. Acuna has space and makes the catch. Soroka has allowed just 1 homer this year. That was in his last start against the Giants off the bat of Brandon Crawford.
This pitch just cuts the middle part of the plate. Wong puts a good swing on it, just hits it to the deepest part of the ballpark. Not enough to get out.
1 out, 1 aboard for Dakota Hudson. Struck out on 3 pitches, his first at bat.
Hudson showing bunt. Again, with Molina running at first, if it's not a great bunt, you still will have an option to go to second base. Saw it last night, runners on first and second. They placed a bunt down. Donaldson got the ball at third and threw to second to get Molina in the force out. Typically, you either go to third or just get the runner at first, but Donaldson aware of who was running. Made a nice play and got the catcher Molina in a force out.
Oh, 2.
Didn't look very comfortable up there, bunting. And again, it's not like the batting cage or when you have the coach throwing 60 miles an hour and you're just dropping them down. And Remember, that pitcher out there is trying to prevent you from bunting. You know, and the reason they're throwing over to first base, one, Molina has been known to try to sneak one, but also you keep him close so you do have the option to go to second base. I mean, you could potentially turn a double play here on a bunt.
Instead, a strikeout.
Well, I'm going to say that's not one of Dakota Hudson's strengths, bunting. Pitch a breaking ball out of the zone. Brings up Fowler.
Batting with the go-ahead run at first.
Braves have the shift on right now, and see Swanson over on the right side of second base, only Donaldson on the left side. It makes it awfully tough. You've got to hit it through 3 fielders on that right side if you're Derek Fowler.
Woo. 0-2.
See, Soroka goes on the outer part of the plate. Now you see Donaldson shifting over towards second base, still on the left side, but he does this because now the bunt theoretically isn't in play with 2 strikes.
Jackknifed him.
I would say that hit him.
And got him.
Got him on the big toe.
And now off to third base. They got him at third.
There's no. So the play is dead once the ball hits Fowler. He's got to get down to first base. Molina trying to be sneaky here.
Give Dansby Swanson some hustle points there.
Molina getting in some sprints. Nothing wrong with getting a little work in. How about Soroka? That's his 7th hit batter this year. Leads the National League.
And the last thing that Yadier Molina needs is more work for his legs.
Right. I mean, Molina's running, his legs are telling him, what are you doing?
Ball to strike.
Goldschmidt, an RBI opportunity right now. We mentioned earlier at the top of the show, just 5 all of this month.
Two and one.
RBI spot right here. If you're hitting, look for something out over the plate, preferably up in the zone. Wanted to go in and hits the corner of the outside part of the plate. And we've seen that a couple times with Soroka tonight. He's missed his spot, but he's still getting it over the plate.
Cardinals have the go-ahead run in scoring position. The 2-2. Right side and through. Molina hits the bag at third. And the Cardinals take the lead in the bottom of the 5th.
Goldsmith does a nice job on that high fastball, just shoots it to right field. Good RBI at bat. Not trying to be a hero. You see Molina, he's already sprinted once to third base. This time it's third to home. Cardinals get a little feel good right there.
Two outs, runners in the corners for DeYoung.
First earned run tonight for Soroka, who, remember, has not given up more than a single earned run in any of his first 7 starts this year.
This inning started with Molina hitting the ball pretty hard, but off of Donaldson's glove at third as he tried to field it on the side. Retired the next 2 hitters, and Dexter Fowler on an 0-2 pitch gets hit in the toe. Goldsmith follows with the RBI base hit.
St. Louis with 5 hits tonight. Soroka has not allowed more than 5 hits in any start this year. 2-2. Cardinals have taken the lead, a chance for more with 2 outs and 2 on. The 2-2 to DeYoung. Ground ball tight to the line. Donaldson has it. Strong throw. First base, the stretch by Freeman to end the inning. Goldschmidt has given the Cardinals a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the 5th. And we bought the rights for this song just for tonight. So with that in mind, let's play some Gloria. We go to the 6th.
This is brought to you by Verizon, the most reliable network, and by State Farm, here to help life go right. Cardinals now leading 2-1, beginning the top of the 6th. As Dansby Swanson leads off and looks at ball 1. Almost everything has been on the ground from Dakota Hudson. No surprise.
Well, this is the inning right here for Hudson. See the 13 groundouts that you just mentioned, but no strikeouts. You've just taken the lead. You're in the 6th inning. You're facing 2, 3, 4 the Atlanta lineup. Like to keep that momentum and get back in the dugout.
Freeman on deck, then Josh Donaldson. Slicing high the opposite way. Martinez sizes it up. 1 down. Let's go back to LA for a game break. Amber, what's going on? Thank you, Amber. In 13 innings. Long night there. 1 out here. And goes around. Strike 1 to Freddie Freeman. We were talking about the National League East earlier and what a competitive division it is. Phillies now a 2-game cushion over these Braves. Mets 5.5 back. And the suddenly surging Miami Marlins.
All right, you're getting a little carried away here, right? I mean,
was that a heat check?
I get you. You know, want to include everybody. You know, the thing about it, though.
I mean, I'm a nice guy, Eric.
Well, yeah, but be a credible nice guy. You know, the interesting thing, though, you have the Mets, and, you know, we've heard a lot of talk in the last week or so, and, you know, what's going on with the coaching staff, the managing, are there going to be changes? Only 5 back in the loss column. Again, the potential to run some victories together with that pitching staff. But instead of this being a 4-team race, it turns into a 3-teamer. Not sure the Nationals have an opportunity to, I mean, I guess they have an opportunity to get back in this thing, but just haven't seen anything that would indicate that, yeah, I'm a believer.
Strike 3 called. Freeman not thinking so. First punch out tonight for Dakota Hudson.
That's a nice pitch right there. That's that off speed right on the corner part. It gets a pretty good chunk of the plate right there. I think more than anything, Freddie Freeman just surprised at the pitch selection, let alone the location.
For a guy batting .320 entering tonight, looks pretty dejected. 2 outs for Josh Donaldson. Activity is stirring inside the Cardinals bullpen. Next pitch will be number 65 for Hudson.
Well, he's done a fantastic job so far this evening. Exactly what the Cardinals have needed. As you mentioned earlier, the run, I mean, it's a base hit to right field just by Colton Wong. Ground ball. Then Riley shoots one down the line. Really just a case of bad luck for Hudson. Done everything that he's wanted to do today. Kept the Braves in the ballpark. Reduced ground balls. Kept his fielders involved.
On to your point about the home runs, as we see Tyler Webb and John Gant getting loose. 8 home runs for this Braves team the last 3 games. Strike 3 called. Donaldson caught looking at 96. Back-to-back punch-outs to end the top of the 6th. Marcell Ozuna, 14 home runs, leading the Redbirds. He'll be leading off the home 6th inning when we come back. I think we know what he's drinking tonight. Bark of the Park night. Marcell Ozuna leads off the Cardinals' 6th inning. Tonight's powerful cleanup hitter, sponsored by Bounty. Focuses on Marcell Ozuna. Most homers against the Braves since 2013. 15 home runs for Ozuna, of course, so many years in Miami. Seeing the Braves on a regular basis. Ozuna batting just .202 this month.
Well, and you see he's got the 45 RBIs this year, and you know, when you first take a look, you say, "Wow, that's real nice." But he's had the most at bats with runners in scoring position this year. See him flail at that pitch right there. Soroka just throws that slider on the outer part of the plate. It starts on the corner and then just works its way away. Even if you are fortunate enough to make contact, it's going to be off the end of the bat, not going to hit it at all. But again, Ozuna, as we mentioned, a ton of opportunities this year.
That's 5 strikeouts now for Soroka, facing Matt Carpenter. 2 for 2 tonight. Game tying RBI single in the 4th inning.
Yeah, he hasn't appeared to be miffed at all by Soroka. comfortable, seeing the bat or the ball well.
He goes.
No question about that.
Rolled over, foul by first base. Still 0-2 on Carpenter.
You know, again, when you look at the names on this ball club, whether it's Goldschmidt, Ozuna, Carpenter, you know, and then of course you're getting the contributions from DeYoung and Martinez and Wong, Fowler. I mean, they just feel they should be a lot better than the way they've played. And if you're a fan of the Cardinals, you're saying, well, they're going to come around. They're going to play, you know, to their norm. And once they do, then, you know, they become more like that 20-10 ball club that had the best record in Major League Baseball on May 1st.
Well, they are just 6-15 this month. Rolls another one foul. Since May 2nd, 5-15. Opened up the month with a win against the Nationals. And since then, second worst record in the majors.
Yeah, only Baltimore has been more futile.
This is caught, snared by Albies, who timed his leap.
Like, that's not fair right there. I mean, there is the only time you should ever see that is when you're driving down in your neighborhood and you drive by a softball game and there's somebody that's, you know, they got the beer league team and they got 10 people in the outfield and they got 3 people on this side and that side. I mean, that is so frustrating right there. Great strategy, but man, oh man. Glad I'm watching that in the booth and not standing in the batter's box dealing with that.
2 outs for Jose Martinez. Would you like to see a time where it's illegal to have 3 defenders on one side of second base?
No, I think you have to figure out a way to beat it, and if you know that's the way then they're playing, then you have to make an adjustment. I mean, I get people talk about, well, they've got the prevent defense, or you can't play a zone in basketball. So, you know, I don't know. They have all these reasons to promote offense. But you know, I've seen the last couple of games. I've watched guys bunt the ball when they're playing the shift on the big left-handed hitters. I think you're going to start to see more of it. You'll always get the complainers.
I wonder if Carpenter agrees with you or not.
Not right now, he doesn't. But Soroka thinks it's the best thing going.
The 1-2.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'd be miserable because it's hard enough to hit, and you feel like, okay, look I'm hitting a ball where all my career, except for the last 2 or 3 years, that's a hit. I'm feeling good about myself. Like now, it's just hang with them.
Missing with 96. Well, he just cruised through the first 3 frames. Just 2 hits in the first 3 innings. It's been a different story since the start of the 4th.
Well, remember that start of the 4th too started off with the catcher's interference. You know, it really wasn't a fault of his. Then it just kind of got away from him. I mean, if you're counting 2 runs as getting away from him.
I guess relative to his success this year, you could say that.
Yeah, it's been an onslaught, right?
Only a pair of 3-ball counts, by the way, for Soroka. Both have gone to Jose Martinez. This time he works a walkout. Facing Yadier Molina. Swanson to his left. And there is out number 3 to end the 6th inning. We are off to the 7th. Cardinals by a run as we go to the top of the 7th. And Dakota Hudson has topped out at 6 innings so far this season. A chance to record an out in the 7th as he faces Nick Markakis.
Markakis singled in his last at bat. Real important to get him. Got the hot rookie up next, Austin Riley.
Hudson falls behind 2-0. Now Carlos Martinez getting loose. Former starter now working in relief for the Cardinals. Sliced the opposite way into the gap. Ozuna will have to field this off the base of the wall. Extra bases for Markakis. Leadoff double.
Well, there's that left-handed hitter that's been a nemesis all year for Hudson. Leaves this pitch out up over the plate. Markakis does a nice job. It's running away from him. He drives it to left center. Ozuna does a nice job of playing this off the wall. Plays it relatively cleanly, barehanded, and gets it right in.
Austin Riley, who drove in the first run of this ball game with a double, he now represents the go-ahead run.
If you're Riley as a hitter, you're looking for something again out over the plate, preferably up. Drive it the other way. At the very least, get Markakis over to third base, but not giving yourself up. Still looking to drive something. The away part right, but you've got to get that pitch up.
This is the first pitch that he saw tonight. It's inside the bag at third. That's where Donaldson from second base.
Set your sights up in the zone against a guy like Hudson. Figure if he starts the ball at the waist or thigh high, it's going to sink. Make him get it up.
The opposite way, scorched. Martinez out of the track. This moves Markakis.
So Riley gets nothing for that at bat, statistically speaking, but that is a tremendous at bat. Looking for something up out over the plate. He gets it and he drives that ball. He gives himself an opportunity not only to drive in Markakis, but at the very least move Markakis over from second to third. I mean, that at bat might be one of the best at bats we've seen all night long.
And we've got some changes coming. We got Harrison Bader, looks like, coming out, and also Martinez on a pitch. We'll step aside. Tie and run 90 feet away for the Braves. Top of Major League Baseball at MLB.com. Find the largest selection of authentic caps, t-shirts, jerseys, hoodies, collectibles, and much more. Commemorate your favorite team at MLBshop.com. Now changes as we promised for the Cardinals. Harrison Bader, defensive specialist in center field now for the Redbirds. That moves Fowler over to right field. Jose Martinez out of the game. Carlos Martinez up on the mound now to pitch for the Cardinals.
Well, essentially the closest thing to a double switch. Couldn't take out Yadier Molina. Looking for a strikeout right here. That's about it. You got the infield in on the right side. Young giving himself some range at short.
Flowers the batter. He does not go.
That was if I'm pitching, I got to have that one right there. That's huge. That could have been an 0-2 situation. Instead, 1-1. Martinez has just got to stay away right now. Great opportunity to throw that breaking pitch on the outer part of the plate. Maybe that hard slider right here.
Tie and run at third. The 1-2. Albies the man on deck.
Flowers has got to look up, get it up, get it up.
Down into the corner, left field, and off the wall, fair ball. Markakis scores. This game is all tied with one out of the seventh.
Martinez had just made some pitches on the outer part of the plate. And this thing just kind of frisbeed on up there. It didn't break. It just kind of hung up there. Martinez wanted that breaking pitch on the outer part of the plate to move off of the zone. And this thing just kind of frisbeed on up there.
Flowers to go ahead run at second. And steps Albies. First pitch swinging, strike one. Johan Camargo now on deck. Pitcher spot due up next. Into the gap, right center field, base hit, and will get cut by Bader. Flowers hits the bag, it's bobbled, and it goes to the base of the track. Albies will settle for two, and he has given the Braves a one-run lead in the seventh inning.
Great job of hitting right there by Albies. Flowers, a nice job with the two strikes. See, this pitch just, again, moving on the outer part of the plate, but up in the zone. The only thing here, you know, Albies, when he runs around first, he just decides to put his head down and go hard into second. And basically, you've got that play in front of you. You can glance a little bit. See Flowers can coast on in, but Albies could have been on third base. And that would have been important with one out. Instead, he assumed Bader was going to make that play, just put his head down and slid into second. You see, once he rounds the base, he basically makes up his mind, I'm going to second, and that's where the play is going to be. Could have glanced, maybe given another peek, but
the Young curls over on first base.
Albies into third.
Soroka pleased with his effort tonight. As well he should. Only one earned run.
Well, history marches on for Mike Soroka, the young 21-year-old rookie out of Calgary.
8 starts this year, has yet to allow more than a single earned run any time out. And in line to improve to 6-1. For a man who did not begin the season with the big league club. Then again, the way he's been pitching, it's pretty tough to lose a ball game.
Right? You know, and again, since this stretch where Brian Snitker changed the lineup, moved this man Acuna to the top, and Dansby Swanson to the second spot. You know, Soroka's in line for his 3rd victory. Max Fried has 3 wins in that time span. Julio Teheran, 3 wins. Not only has the offense been clicking, but they've been getting some exceptional starting pitching. I mean, it's basically, as he talked about it, it energized the lineup, but it's energized the whole team.
Well, they've had one of the best rotations in the majors this month. Only the Dodgers and the Astros have more quality starts around baseball entering tonight.
Well, and Fultonavich has had 2 good outings in his last 2 starts. Threw well last night. You know, that's got to get these guys excited.
Fultonavich got the velocity come back last night, the command as well.
Yeah, right. No, I don't think any walks last night. 7 or 8 strikeouts, I think.
Well, that was in the air last night. These 2 teams combined for no walks and 22 strikeouts last night. First time that's happened since last August when the Mets and the Phillies got together. And the strikeouts were split evenly right down the middle. The 3-2. That brings up Dansby Swanson with runners on the corners. And it brings out Mike Maddox.
Well, Dakota Hudson throws a great ball game. Martinez is the right guy to bring in. He's been throwing the ball well and basically had Flowers put away and then just spun a pitch. Didn't break. Flowers gets a base hit. Albies follows up. It's like we've talked about it. If it's not one thing, it's something else with this Cardinal ball club. Just cannot get out of their own way.
Hudson and Martinez have combined to allow 3 doubles in this inning. Markakis and Flowers, they've both scored. Albies had a double. He's now 90 feet away. In steps Dansby Swanson. And Andrew Miller getting loose inside the bullpen. That's to figure this is the last batter for Martinez. Freddie Freeman due up next. Missing inside at 98.
Andrew Miller down there in the pen.
Pitching much better recently.
That's the type of pitch that he wanted to throw to Flowers right there with 2 strikes. Instead, it just kind of spun. Look at this thing. I mean, you just got no chance right there.
The 1-1. Lost his helmet, a ball and 2 strikes.
That's the thing. You see those types of pitches. You just saw the slider. This is 98, down and away at the knees. There just hasn't been the consistency.
Albies at third, Acuna at first. Acuna take it off. Late hop. Gobbled up by Carpenter. And that ends the inning. Now Flowers got things going with a double to tie this game up. And then, of course, Ozzie Albies go ahead. RBI 2-base hit has given the Braves a 1-run lead as we stretch.
Is a commitment to better banking. This is Wells Fargo. And by Budweiser, join the team that enjoys responsibly. Budweiser reminds you to drink wiser. Good look at Stan the Man as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Braves take the lead with them, and they hand the ball to Anthony Swarzak, making just his 3rd appearance in a Braves uniform. Pours across the first pitch, strike to Colton Wong. Swarzak worked an inning scoreless last night, began the season rather with Seattle, recently acquired by the Braves.
Likes to throw his slider, elevate his fastball. He has given up 6 home runs already this year.
He gave up home runs in 4 straight games and in a span of 5 games in 6. You look at this Braves bullpen and the turnover that has gone on inside. There are just 2 members of the Braves bullpen with them today that broke camp and were inside the bullpen on opening day. Just 2. Count evens on Wong.
Right, we're in May. That's not the kind of turnover you want, obviously. But the bullpen has started to solidify itself a bit, especially as of late. Jackson closing, doing a nice job.
Well, that seemed likely, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, as many times as he's been released or DFA'd just in the last 2 years, they didn't anticipate him, being at the back end of the bullpen. He was out of options. But to his credit, he's persevered, he's worked, he's spent some time at Driveline, he's come in when he's been given the opportunity. He's done a great job outside of opening day.
Here's that slider. Good start for Swarzak.
That's a heck of a spot right there. It's almost on that back heel. The dangerous thing is you leave that out just a little bit. That's right in the sweet spot, sweet zone for a lot of left-handed hitters. Swarzak not nervous about that, able to commit to that pitch, and it's a perfect spot.
First at bat for Harrison Bader. Took over in center field in the top half of this inning. High fly ball out to left. Riley with room. 2 down.
May is Foster Care Awareness Month, and Fox Sports has partnered with the Ticket to Dream Foundation to provide opportunities for our country's foster youth to succeed in the classroom and on the field. Visit tickettodream.org to learn how you can help foster kids just be kids. Top of the order, Dexter Fowler.
Moved to the top of the order last night in large part because of his .409 on base percentage. Top 10 of the majors.
Reached base once today, but that was on the hit by pitch. It's that same slider he got Wong to swing through. Right back at it.
Here comes the 1-1. Well, the story for the Braves bullpen by and large, too many walks, too many home runs, not enough strikeouts. Swarzak a chance for a clean 7th. Strike 3 called. He gets it. Anthony Swarzak out of the pen. His 3rd appearance for the Braves. He retires to side in order. And he rings up Dexter Fowler. Andrew Miller on to work the St. Louis. Faces Freddie Freeman. Miller has pitched in each of the last 5 postseasons, yet to win a World Series, however. Colton Wong from shallow right field. 2 pitches, 1 away. Well, the 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup kicks off June 7th, and all eyes will be on Alex Morgan, Carly Lloyd, Megan Rapinoe, and the U.S. Women's National Team as the defending champs head to France to look to win a historic 4th World Cup. All the matches will be live here on Fox and FS1. Here's Josh Donaldson. Well, Donaldson on a 1-year deal, very lucrative 1-year deal to come to Atlanta. Still hasn't really gotten hot.
No, but he hasn't been bad. I mean, he's comes in tonight with a slash line 259, 379, 458, which are decent. You know, you're considering it's a new league. Got to learn things.
Well, his on-base percentage is 120 points higher than his average. He has seen ball 4 his fair share. Leads the Braves in walks. Of course, former MVP. Back in 2015, his first year with the Blue Jays after being traded there from Oakland. Calls for time. The 1-2. Well, in Donaldson, you have the poster child of how sometimes a position change can be a good thing. Former catcher, now mainstay at third base. And Andrew Miller, you have a classic example of a failed starter who has become one of the most elite bullpen arms in the majors. Pulled foul.
Yeah, Miller's starting out with the Marlins and over to the Tigers. And he had a stint with the Orioles, Red Sox, Yankees, been everywhere, hadn't he?
Basically the entire East, and he has been one of the very best whip in baseball among relievers since the start of 2014. 3rd best earned run average. A walk here to Donaldson with 1 out. Let's go back to the 7th. Not long ago, this Braves rally that began with Nick Markakis leading the inning off against Hudson.
Yeah, he shoots a ball in the gap, and again, left-handers have had their way with Hudson this year. Flowers gets a 2-strike spinner, hits it off the wall. Albies then does a nice job, shoots it in the gap. Just gets under Bader's glove. Flowers scores. Albies into second. That's where we're at right now, Aaron.
2 runs on 3 doubles. Never a comfortable at bat for a lefty like Markakis.
looking to pick up his 3rd hit tonight.
You see that velocity, though, 92. And there was a time a few years ago where that was 96. And we've seen him miss that side of the plate a couple times. Did twice with Donaldson. Markakis thinking that's, or I should say hoping, he doesn't miss any further in. You know, Miller has had command issues this year, both in and out of the zone. He's given up some home runs, walked a few.
Brabia getting loose. His Cardinals career began with some turbulence, to say the least, but it's mellowed out a lot in many ways.
I mean, just watching him, that looks like frustration as far as he can't find his release point. He doesn't feel like he can command the ball at all. Battling himself.
Well, the odd thing is he's pitching healthy for the first time in a while.
That might be the problem.
Last year, hamstring, knee, shoulder injuries. Can there be a case made that he became so used to compensating for things and now he doesn't have to?
Well, maybe you get in some bad habits, and it doesn't look like the delivery has been repeatable, or he's battling with that. 3-2. Got to expect the fastball right here with the issues you've seen so far with him on the mound.
Right to Goldsmith for the double play. Now Markakis couldn't hit it much harder, but it ends the inning. That's out of the bottom of the 8th tonight in St. Louis. Our Budweiser game summary. Well, Soroka, just 1 earned run over 6 innings. Hudson pitching very well also. He pitched into the 7th for the first time this year. Ozzie Albies, the go-ahead RBI double in the 7th. And Paul Goldschmidt looking to pick up his 3rd hit. He'll lead off this home 8th. Facing a new arm, Dan Winkler, up on the mound for the Braves.
Well, this will be an interesting matchup. As we talked earlier, Goldie hasn't slugged all that well this month, and Winkler just a .270 slugging percentage against versus right-handed batters since the beginning of 18. Doesn't look good on paper right now for Goldie. Man, oh man, that's tough. I feel for the hitter right there. I mean, you're battling, you're looking to drive something, and then you get a pitch that's low and off the plate, and it's a ball, and they call it a strike. Could be 2-1, you're 1-2, and then you have to swing at that. Well, if I'm Winkler, I go right back down there again. See if I can get off the plate a little bit. Either get the call or make Goldie go after it.
The 1-2. The opposite way. Down by the foul pole. And this is a foul ball.
Good job by Goldschmidt right there. He knows that Winkler's going to try to attack that same spot. Looking down there and does a nice job of driving that ball.
Tying run at the plate to begin the bottom of the 8th.
Well, interesting. You got Jackson down in the bullpen, but he is your quote-unquote closer. But this could be the highest leverage situation right now. Got your 2, 3, and 4 hitters up.
Broken bat right back off of Winkler, and it dives over by third base. And one way or the other, Goldsmith picks up his 3rd hit.
So it felt like sounded like he broke the bat. That's still going to hurt, though. See if Winkler's okay. Obviously not the ideal fielding position you want to end up in as a pitcher. Your back turned and completely looking out to center field. I mean, if anything, you got to be thankful that was off the end of the bat. You break the bat there, but as I mentioned, that still hurts. It's like those guys that say, you know, you got hit by a curveball or an off-speed pitch. Yeah, no big deal. That doesn't hurt. Baseball's hurt.
He'll take a moment to get loose. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Progressive, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance, and by Bounty, the quicker picker-upper. Winkler says he's all right. He'll stay in there. Goldschmidt 5 hits over the first 2 games of this series. Josh Tomlin just started to get loose inside the Braves pen. Maybe that was more just in case. Here's DeYoung.
He's getting that call down around the knees, below the knees. DeYoung looking for something up, driving the gap.
Albies on a skip. Swanson has it at second, on to first, the stretch, and it is in time for the double play.
Well, nice job in a couple of spaces right here. Swanson does a nice job of getting rid of it. Freddie Freeman, the nice stretch. That's a high throw, so very tough for a first baseman to execute a proper stretch and still catch the ball, because when you stretch, you end up going lower to the ground. But Freeman, a nice job.
Now Mike Schilt and the Cardinals will challenge this.
I wasn't watching the replay. What'd you see there?
I think we should see another replay.
Oh, come on. Go out on a limb. I'm going to say out.
Sounds like you have some great evidence to back that up.
No evidence. Say out.
You think so?
Well, I don't know. You have enough to overturn it, right? Oh, that one looks safe. Let me get out my coin. Let me flip it. We'll let you know. I didn't hear your call. What's your call on this? Don't go with the cheer either, just because you heard everybody clap. Come on.
So easily influenced by the home crowd.
Well,
I think it's safe.
You're going safe.
Yeah.
All right. I think you're right.
I'll talk about a swing if this gets overturned. You still have the out at second.
Oh, man.
So hard to determine when the ball's in the back of the glove, isn't it?
That's not the shot. This is the shot here. Right. I feel like that one looks like it's safe, right?
Well, they're taking some time trying to figure this out.
Well, they're just figuring out what yard line they're going to place the ball.
As it stands, bases are empty with 2 down for Ozuna.
Oh, it's a baseball game.
This is really taking some time.
I'm telling you. They got to figure out how much time to put back on the clock, where they're going to mark the ball.
Well, here we go. Safe. Just like I told you. 1 out, 1 on for Ozuna.
See, we could have saved all that time. Just asked you.
Oh, you did. You did the right thing.
All right, Ozuna, he's got 9 home runs with runners on base this year, most in baseball.
Winkler, after taking one off the back and then having to wait through delay, gets the first pitch strike. Ozuna, team leading 14 home runs. Swinging for another one, 0-2.
This thing
Just buy him up in the zone. As I mentioned, right-handed hitters have slugged only .270 against Winkler. I should say right-handed hitters, all hitters. Just has not got beaten by extra base hits this year.
The 1-2 off the plate. Tying run at first, go ahead at the plate. Served into right field for a base hit. DeYoung makes a turn, makes his way into third base standing, and the Cardinals have something cooking. 1 out, runners on the corner.
Well, Winkler had been wearing out that low and outside spot. This creeped a little bit over the plate, but Ozuna does a nice job, shoots it to right. Putting runners on first and third, 1 out. Carpenter, really the hottest hitter for the Cardinals tonight. 2 hits and that line shot to medium right field on the shift. Could easily have 3. See the Braves employing the shift right there. That whole left side of the infield wide open. Going to be tough to turn a double play if it's hit to Albies at second base. Swanson's going to have to head over to second. He's running away from first. Carpenter, a left-handed hitter, will have a step or 2 closer to first. Look at that left side wide open. Oof. And Flowers set up way outside. This thing gets a good inner part of the plate. It's happened a couple times to Carpenter tonight.
The 1-1. Ground ball with eyes wide open left side. What a night for Matt Carpenter. He has tied this game with 3 in the 8th inning.
See, Winkler will be hot about this, right? It's like he's thinking, man, that's a great pitch. It's a inning-ending double play in most cases if we're playing regular depth, regular spots. But also remember, Carpenter had a hit taken away from him in his last at-bat because of this shift. Albies in short right field. Spear to line drive.
Now Ozuna being tended to at second base. It looks like he's okay, but maybe Mike Shilton and the training staff saw something different.
I think he had aspirations of heading to third when that ball was first hit. Then he decided, oh, maybe not. Not graceful putting on the brakes right there. Chain may have weighted him down too as well. You see that thing?
How can I not?
Wow. That's just more weight to be carrying. That should be locked up in a safe. Jeez.
So he's dragging the anchor at second base. Carpenter at first. Here's Jed Jerko off the bench.
Well, you see this pitch right here, low and away. Ozuna does a nice job of shooting it to right field. Carpenter again low and away. Feeds it out to the non-occupied shortstop position because of the shift. Oh no.
Crushed high, deep left center field. Wallop back to the wall. Gone. Home run, Jed Jerko. Pinch hit, 3-run home run. (6-3) Cardinals.
Well, Mike Shilton telling us before the game that his team's resilient. They keep battling. And really, you see him pop up right here. This inning happens only because Paul DeJong hustles down to first base. Take a look at the Jed Jerko home run. This just cuts the middle of the plate. No doubter right when he hits it. But again, I go back to the reason that this is all possible. Paul DeJong, we're going to watch Jed Jerko hit another one here. But going back, Paul DeJong hit a ball that should have been a double play. That should have been, but could have been a double play. It's bang, bang at first base. They have to review. Originally called out. He's safe. Now there's a guy on first. Ozuna gets the base hit. Carpenter, the inning just continues. And if it weren't for the hustle of Paul DeJong, the Cardinals are not sitting ahead right now.
And what a big time effort by the young shortstop. 0-2 on Wong. Now the biggest problem or the biggest question for the Cardinals has been how to get the ball to the fastest man in baseball, and that is Jordan Hicks. He's now warming up.
Well, what's crazy is this month the Cardinals have had one save opportunity, and they didn't execute it. There's only one team in baseball that's had fewer than one save opportunity this month. That's the Kansas City Royals. They went into today with 0.
Now Wong strikes out to end the inning. Hicks will be coming out to pitch tonight. Jed Jerko off the bench. Pinch hit, 3-run blast. He has put the Redbirds on top. Jordan Hicks On to close the door for the Cardinals. He is pitching for only the 5th time this month, as Jed Jerko has put the Cardinals on top.
I mean, if you're the Braves, all you're thinking about right now are base runners. And because Hicks hasn't thrown often, he can be a bit erratic. I'm standing up there. I'm standing up there until I get 1 strike, maybe even 2 strikes.
22-year-old Austin Riley leads it off for the Braves. Up to Ozuna in left field. Out of the track. 1 away. Rumor has it, if you have a clever comment, MLB will reply. Follow MLB on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Now, this losing month has locked Hicks up in the bullpen. In fact, he did not pitch in 15 of the first 18 games this month. Now hasn't pitched in 6 days. Suffered the loss in extra innings in Arlington, despite throwing 12 of the 16 fastest pitches in the majors this season that day. They were all at least 102.5.
Make sure you get that half in there, right? It's a big difference between 102 and 102.5.
Can you saying you can't tell the difference?
Oh,
at the plate?
my. I mean, he just dropped a 90-mile-an-hour slider. That's 104.
Oh, 104. Hello. Pitches thrown at 101 and over. 98. Everybody else out of any other bullpen, 27. Well, unfortunately for Hicks, he has missed with 104 and 103. Missing again.
That can't be a lot of fun for Yachty to try and catch that when he's not hitting his spots, right? Here's 103, 104. Not really sure where it's going. You try to catch that.
Yeah.
See, he's telling him right there to breathe, relax, just come through me, just throw through me.
Drop off the plate. 2 outs. It was kind of Hicks to take a little off throwing to first base.
Now Braves down to their final out tonight. 4-run rally for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 8th. Looking at strike 1.
That becomes a real problem for a hitter. You're throwing 104 and then you're hitting corners with your breaking ball. Again.
The 0-2. Well, the corner, 103. Ball 1.
Yeah, he misses his spot, but probably gets a part of the plate there. 103.
Colton Wong at second base. Cardinals win. They have evened the series at a game apiece.
Big win for the Cardinals. Resilient ball club. They've battled through this month of May. It is almost over. Some signs of life. Look, they're over 500. They haven't killed themselves with this bad month. They're right in the thick of things with the Central. A lot of baseball left. Going to be a great summer in St. Louis.
A win tomorrow night would mark their first series win of the month. Also a chance for back-to-back wins for the first time this month as the Braves bullpen blows its 9th save in 22 tries. Now for Eric Karros, I'm Aaron Goldsmith, our entire Fox Sports crew saying goodbye from St. Louis. Or once again, the Cardinals win. They win 6-3 over the Braves. We'll send you out to our LA studios. More post-game coverage right after these messages.